I look at someone like Coach Prime, that's motivation, knowing that you can build something special at a HBCU. I'm building off the tradition that Jackson State has left, and we're blazing new trails. We have a boatload of talent, right? I've seen basketball a long time, played it, and I know talent when I see it. And we have some guys that's really talented. Whatever you do, you gotta love it. You gotta love getting up in the morning. You gotta love getting out your bed. You gotta love coming to practice. You gotta love the work, because at the end of the day, you love winning. You will feel Jackson State all over the city. We're building. We want to win a championship this year, and that's our only goal. Hi, I'm Mo Williams. I'm the head men's basketball coach at Jackson State University. The SWAC is the Southwestern Athletic Conference Division I program. There's 12 schools that make up the SWAC, most notably Jackson State, Florida A&M, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Mississippi Valley State, Southern University, Grambling State University, Alcorn State University, Bethune-Cookman, Texas Southern, Prairie View. So it's 12 schools based out of Florida, Alabama, Texas, obviously Mississippi, Louisiana make up the SWAC. The joint effect is they was all built on the same thing. They was built off black individuals that came together to start something way back in the day before our time. And we're just kind of carrying the torch for them and continue to enhance it. Being guys like myself that played professionally, that have done it at a high level, to come back and be implemented into the fabric of the HBCU culture. Obviously, I didn't go to a HBCU, so to come back as a coach in my latter part of my career, in my life, is definitely gratifying. What experience I get is, obviously, this is not your Power 5 situation. You don't have a lot of the things that I had when I played in college. They're not, the resources just not there, for lack of better words. But to be able to be in that fabric in that culture of how things are being done, and the impact Deion Sanders had on our culture is obviously tremendous growth that we've experienced since he's been there. And obviously you see what he's done now at a Power 5 level, things that obviously he did on our level, being at a HBCU. So for me, I look at someone like Coach Prime, that's motivation, knowing that you can build something special at a HBCU, and you can also take that same mindset, to another school per se, and build that culture the same way. I think just the history. For example, when you talk about my family just in general, my mom, my dad, my older sister, my younger brother, they all went to a HBCU, and I came about, and I was an athlete, and obviously I ended up going to Alabama, Roll Tide, but just growing up, going to all the functions, my mom being an alumni, my dad being alumni, my little brother being alumni, and obviously my sister didn't go to Jackson State, she went to Mississippi Valley, which is another HBCU. That's just kind of been who we were as a family. That's all we knew. I always supported Jackson State, even though I didn't go there, because that's kind of like my family school. Everybody has a family school that you support. But just the culture itself, outside of sports, if you come to Jackson, Mississippi, you will feel Jackson State all over the city. And it feels like a college town. If you go to a college town where the school is the only thing there, you obviously just see the school everywhere. And that's just how Jackson State is, the impact of the culture of, it's a lifestyle, being at Jackson State, being a part of that culture. After 2016, I retired after we won the championship. In 2017, I had an AAU program that I coached, I developed, and did that in 2017. Then I decided, I wanted to get on another level as far as coaching these kids. I was dealing with high school kids below. So I wanted to get in the college game. And that was my next move, and I decided to reach out to my former college coach, Mark Godfrey, and he took the job at Cal State Northridge, which I picked up 2018, moved to California, the suburbs right outside in the valley, and stayed there for 2 years with him, and developed my coaching scheme and learned a lot about the college game. And I did that for 2 years. And one thing I told myself when I started getting into coaching, I told myself in 3 years I would be a Division I head coach. And I'm big on speaking a lot of things into existence, right? And I told myself that, but I had to take the proper steps. I had to really, learn on the fly, and I had to be ready and I had to be prepared. So year 3 come and Alabama State job come open, which is a HBCU, and I owe them, a lot because they took a chance on someone with no head coaching experience. And I learned a lot those 2 years there. Learned how to run your own program, which led me to Jackson State after 2 years there. Just finished my first year at Jackson State, going into my second year now at Jackson State. And that's kind of full circle for me because that's a family school and it's actually my hometown. So it just worked itself out where it was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up. So I'm building off the tradition that Jackson State has left, and we're blazing new trails. It kind of took me back to when I was a college athlete and I left out of school after my sophomore year. And I had people say, you should go back to school. And I had people say, believe in yourself. But most of them were saying go back to school. And obviously you see how my career ended up. But it was the same in coaching. Being that I was going to take a head coaching job, being that it was an HBCU, a lot of coaches that I'm around, they don't have a lot of experience with the HBCU world, and their perception of it is very different. So I had a lot of people try to talk me out of it. Hey, better opportunities will come up. You're better off taking an assistant job somewhere else. All those type of things was presented to me. But I believe in myself. I believe in myself. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to run my own show. I wanted to build something. So that was intriguing to me. And one thing that I tell people that I appreciate the most about myself, and I tell everybody this that tried to talk me out of, I said, you know what? I want to be a head coach. And the only people that want me to be a head coach for their organization is a HBCU. They're the only one giving me the opportunity. So I really cherish those ideas that they had, taking a chance on someone with no head coaching experience. And now I'm going into my 4th year as a head coach. So I have the experience now. We're building. We want to win a championship this year, and that's our only goal. I'm blessed to make a little money in my life, and that's really the only difference in a HBCU and a Alabama or Mississippi State or you name it. It's the money. We have a arena just like they do. We have locker rooms just like they do. We have a cab just like they do. We have a weight room just like they do. We have strength and conditioning people just like they do. There's a little bit more enhanced, right? So I would say that's kind of the downfall that you have to deal with, but it's just not Jackson State. It's every HBCU that we find these same struggles, some worse than others. But at the same time, you have to kind of take what you have, and you got to make Kool-Aid out of it. You really do. One thing about it, it's a mindset, right? It's a mindset, and typically it's how you recruit. You recruit guys that's hungry. You recruit guys that's not looking for the glitz and glamour, right? You recruit guys that have one goal in mind, that's to come, get their degree, work hard, and try to maximize their potential. I mean, it's huge that I'm able to sit in front of you today and even speak on these topics because we need the word to get out. I use Coach Prime as an example because he put the world on notice about HBCUs, right? Same way he's doing with Colorado now. Like, nobody paid attention to Colorado in the last decade. Now all of a sudden, the first 2 weeks, they're the talk of the town. But he did the same for us. Jackson State has always been traditionally a really good athletic program top to bottom. But you wouldn't know until Dion got there and all of a sudden, it's national news. So for me, being who I am, being the impact that I have on children and young adults, and the relationship I have with entities like the Milwaukee Bucks, to get this out, to let people know that, you know, we need your help financially. We need actual funds to the athletic program to help enhance, and we always say even the playing field, but the only difference is resources, and that's money. And that's the thing about, and I'm gonna just speak on Jackson State, we have a boatload of talent, right? I've seen basketball a long time, played it, and I know talent when I see it. And we have some guys that's really talented. And if you have some of those guys in situations that they can be seen and heard a lot more, then they'll get more, they'll get what they deserve. And that goes back to the resources. So if we had the resources and we had certain things, and I'll give you an example. Our first 13 games of the season are on the road. Every single game. Go look at Duke's schedule. Probably out of 13 games, 9 of them probably at Duke. They're probably playing 4 games on the road. 2 of them are one or 2 in a neutral site. We're playing 13 games on the road straight. We leave November 6th and don't get back to campus till November 20th. This is a college. They're supposed to be getting a college experience, right? They're student athletes, but we treat them like pros because we got to travel all over the place and they got to go out there and put their body on the line to raise money. And this is what people don't realize. We play Gonzaga this year, right? We got to go to Gonzaga. Gonzaga, the university, are giving us $100,000 to come play them. Now, in return, we got to go to Georgetown. They're going to give us $100,000. You know, we got to go play all these games to raise money. That's how we function. That's how we able to travel. That's how we able to eat. That's how we able to do all these things. When you're looking at other schools, just for example, like a Mississippi State, you know, like a Alabama, they don't have these issues. They have a budget that comes from the school. Here's $15 million. Do what you want with it. That's with recruiting, that's with all this type of things, how they fly recruiting in private. No, we jumping in our cars and we driving 5 or 6 hours to go recruit someone, you know, and in some cases, we can't even go recruit some people because of the fact that it's gonna cost too much to even get there. We need this money for rooms. We need this money for food. So when I talk about resources, I'm talking about literally green dollars that we need to help us function. And I think from that standpoint, getting back to the talent, then you will see the talent exposed because now you're not looking at us on a piece of paper saying, oh, they're 1-12. They don't have no good players on the team, you know, but at the same time, we come back 12-1 because we don't have to go play the Gonzagas. If you look at our non-conference schedule and you look at Duke's non-conference schedule, and you just take Jackson State and Duke off, you don't know who's playing who, you'll say, well, that's the tougher schedule right there. That'll be us, because there's no way we're playing 6, 7 top 25 teams in non-conference, all on the road. So it's definitely difficult. It's frustrating. I mean, I'm voicing it now, and I voice it every time we're in a meeting, just how we need to change that, because just perception-wise, it doesn't help us. It doesn't help us to go play people and get beat by 30. You know, it doesn't make sense. You know, it's not fair to the kids. They got to travel, and basically, like, you're making them work to raise money. where the other don't have to do that. You know, they should have an experience just like everybody else. So that's one of my main things that I want to change, because I feel like if that alone is changed, that alone, meaning, you know what, guys, you don't have to go raise $1 million. Meaning we got to go play 13 games to raise that $1 million. It's the only way we can raise it. So we don't have guys like yourself or this guy that come in and say, here go 100,000, here go 100,000, here go $1 million. If we had that, we wouldn't have to go play those games. Now we can have, out of 31 games that we play, that's how many home games we have. Out of 31 games. It's impactful for the Bucks to have nights like this because talking about the youth, it's really impacting and helping HBCUs, right? And Bucks, being that they support athletics, and I think for us from an HBCU standpoint, athletics is the most important thing that needs to be impacted, and it needs to be impacted financially, not just talked about, not just sending water and gifts. I think the finance part of it needs to be touched upon, and it needs to be touched upon in a big way.
You wear your ring around the team.
Yeah.
What do you hope that does, and why is it important for them to see that?
I'm big on speaking things into existence, right? So it's more so motivation. You know, I wear it. I wear my championship ring, and I wear my college ring around my neck during that time. You know, and it's really just motivation. You know, motivation those guys like, hey, you can get one of these. I want another one. That's my motivation.
NBA champion Mo Williams, that's a pretty good sentence, isn't it? It's unbelievable.
I'm big on mindset, you know, mindset and love. You know, those are the two things that we bark up on every single day. Your mindset and love. And when we say love, that means whatever you do, you gotta love it. From an HBCU standpoint, I would challenge everyone to really dig into, you know, financially helping HBCUs, and particularly, obviously, Jackson State. We will welcome that. It's big for us. You know, you gotta love getting up in the morning. You gotta love getting out your bed. You gotta love coming to practice. You gotta love the work, you know, because at the end of the day, you love winning.